A new season has started, and we all know what that means. It's time to all simultaneously trigger amnesia and forget about everything you've obsessed about for the past 3 months. How does it feel to be instantly abandoned the moment your show ended?
I met you in the summer, to my heartbeat sound.
Spring is the season of love, life, and new beginnings. And while you may not find love, because, you know, look at yourself, and you definitely won't touch grass, you can begin watching 15 new anime this season. And isn't that what spring is all about? The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 is the most watched anime this season. In case you don't know, it's a series about 4 guys who get transported to a different world, in which they are heroes tasked with saving the world. The 4 heroes are loved and revered by everyone, except for the Shield Hero, because Shield lame, I guess. Anyway, Shield Guy gets falsely accused of rape, exiled and shunned, but he doesn't give up on saving this world that has wronged him, because if he does, he can fucking leave this libtard world, which makes for a great setting for an underdog revenge story. For the first 4 episodes at least, when he just kinda moves on, I guess, taking away anything that was somewhat interesting and leaving us with this incredibly mid cast of characters. These 2 cardboard boxes who make Kirito seem like a deep and interesting character, and these 2 antagonists with 0 redeeming qualities. This bitch literally has no valid reason for pulling the shit she does, she just hates shields. Since when is being a Dark Souls fan a valid excuse to commit war crimes? And then there's this spear guy who is not necessarily evil, he's just very dumb, just extremely brain dead. So I guess he's also a Dark Souls player? Then season 2 starts, and out of nowhere there's a big dog destroying the world, and we are supposed to care about this incredibly underwhelming final showdown not even 40 minutes later. The story, the writing, the characters, the animation, nothing about this series is good or interesting. I wouldn't say The Rising of the Shield Hero is mid. It's just straight up bad. Spy Family is an adaptation of one of the most popular manga around. It's produced by Witch Studio and Cloverworks, which I think is a perfect fit for this series. Not for any stylistic reasons, but because the useless fucking X in the title gives me severe Face Clan flashbacks. You know, real Gubby Brown vibes. And those 2 studios never fucking miss. Except for The Promised Neverland Season 2, but you know, even aimbots malfunction sometimes. And yet, even knowing all that, even though I've read the manga, I did not expect this anime to be this popular. As of writing this video, it is rated at 9.09 on MyAnimeList, the tied 2nd highest rated anime of all time, which is just absurd. Anyway, Spy Family is a series set in a world resembling the Cold War era, in which a spy adopts a girl in order to infiltrate a prestigious school. He also marries a woman he's never met before to play the role of the mother. Little does he know that his daughter is an esper who can read minds, and the woman is a skilled assassin. None of them have revealed anything about their secrets and try very hard to conceal it, which makes for some extremely weird and funny scenarios. This series can be very serious, is often extremely funny, occasionally incredibly wholesome, but always a blast, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's only been like 3 months since Komi-san ended, and season 2 has already started. I just want to know how they do it, and what kind of sorcery they are using, and whether they can teach it to Mappa so Attack on Titan can fucking end. Studio Olm is really pushing out multiple full anime seasons at the same rate it takes me to make a single 10-minute video explaining why every anime ever made is bad, and your taste is bad, and you should feel bad. I've read the Komi-san manga, and while I did enjoy the beginning of it, afterwards comes this small batch of chapters that isn't as good in my opinion, starting somewhere around chapter 80 and ending at chapter 300, where they take away the spotlight from Komi and Tadano too much in favor of entire chapters dedicated to random side character number 687. This series has so many side characters, it's actually just stupid. And it's not even like they are interesting or memorable either. These characters can range anywhere between completely forgettable and absolutely insufferable. Again, Komi-san, incredible adaptation, very mediocre manga. I've been waiting for a good football anime for what feels like forever, and with the release of Ashi, I'm so excited to tell you that the wait will continue for a little longer. What I like about Haikyuu is that it's not only a good volleyball anime, but that the volleyball in it is also very down to earth, is well explained for newcomers to the sport, but also very realistic and accurate. I think. I mean, I don't know anything about volleyball. I'm just going to have to trust them on this one. So when a football anime comes around, a sport that I do know a lot about, I was hoping it was just like that. But when this guy starts playing like Harry fucking Maguire and everyone including this fictional ex-superstar looks at him like Joe Biden looks at unsupervised children, it kinda just ruined it for me. For a sports anime to be good, it has to be either well researched and realistic, like Haikyuu, or doesn't try to be realistic and focuses on being fun and enjoyable to watch, like Galactic Football. And Ashi is neither of those. Kaguya-sama is hands down the best comedy anime ever made. It somehow manages to balance its crackhead chaotic energy with very serious and impactful moments. One moment Ishigami goes through a life-changing experience, and a couple of panels later he's talking about how his dick is hard, and yet it never feels out of place at all. Every other comedy anime feels like it's stuck in an infinite time loop, where time doesn't pass and the story never progresses. Kaguya-sama's story does progress, way further than you would ever expect, and it does this while staying absolutely hilarious all throughout. Every single character is an incredibly thought out and layered character. Every reaction, remark or joke they make makes sense within their character, and every character has a backstory that explains why they act the way they do and why they are all, at their cores, nothing but flawed individuals. Except for Chika, who canonically has an IQ of 4, so Your Boy Kongming is a show in which genius Chinese tactician Suge Liang gets isekai to a hellish dystopian world known as modern day society. Here, he will put his incredibly high IQ that looks kind of like your IP address and genius strategy to good use by helping this amateur singer become famous. Yes. Seriously. It's a seriously stupid premise, and one would expect the show to be just another weird comedy, but it actually takes itself somewhat seriously, and that's what I like about it. Having a major historical figure explain how he strategically managed to attract a large crowd to an unknown artist and bust out some sick moves in the span of minutes is something I didn't know I needed in my life. Shikimori is not just a cutie, it's a series about Shikimori, who's not just a cutie. And that's it. At first I thought, maybe she's actually hiding something. Maybe she's a spy, or an assassin, or an extremely racist Discord user. But it turns out that she's just kinda unrealistically good at everything and looks kinda cool while doing so. So basically this guy is so comically unlucky that it's not comical at all. It's just kinda sad, really. This girl is just so unrealistically good at everything. She's literally the second coming of Christ. And this random dude just killed the ball like he's prime Ronaldinho. Like, holy fuck, someone sign this guy! Nothing about this series feels natural or realistic. They went way overboard with the main characters, and the dialogue feels less like people conversing and more like two voice assistants talking to each other. Summertime Render takes us to an abandoned island on which a funeral is taking place. The funeral is being held for a girl called Ushio, the adoptive sister of the protagonist. The cause of death was supposedly a drowning, but an autopsy revealed bruises on her neck, implying a more sinister cause of death. Shinpei now finds himself in a loop, which he cannot escape until he solves this mystery. Sometimes you watch a show and before you even understand what's happening, before you know what's going on, before anyone has uttered a single word, you can already tell you are in for a ride. You may not be able to point out why, but you can feel it. It feels special. This show just oozes quality in a way that you don't see very often. I check out at least 10 to 15 new anime per season, and I've done this consistently for the past 5 years. Yet, I've only had this feeling maybe 3 or 4 times. Many great anime have gone by since then, but not many have managed to grip me the way this one does in its very first episode. That being said, the last show that made my pee-pee tingle like that was To Your Eternity, and that show shit the bed harder than Amber Heard ever could, so take that with a grain of salt. Aharen Is Indecipherable is a series I had never heard of before, and yet it feels like I've watched it dozens of times already. Aharen, Uzaki, Nagatoro, Takaki, Komi, Magical Senpai, Shunibyo, My Dress-Up Darling, Attack on Titan, 1986 Journey to the West. It's all the exact same thing but with a different skin. The gimmick this time being that the girl is incredibly autistic and the guy is a chronically depressed overthinker. And I fucking love it. I mean, come on. One moment we are dealing with bad hair, and then suddenly they are doing Fortnite dances to become YouTube famous, and if that isn't peak fiction, then I don't know what is. Rikekoi is a comedy about scientists trying to define love. They run experiments while monitoring their heart rate, sweat levels, or brain activity, trying to find some kind of pattern. 2 seasons in, and they haven't made much progress yet. And this is just speculation on my part, but I do not believe they will find the answer they are looking for. Because some things just cannot be put into words or explained with numbers. I mean, just think about it. What are the odds? We live on this giant floating rock surrounded by almost 8 billion people, all with a mini supercomputer in our pocket that allows us to communicate with anyone, anywhere, and yet you still get no bitches, like 0. There are 4 billion bitches and you get none of them. Science can't explain that. That's a statistical anomaly.